class 7. So we have been studying chapter number 10, respiration. So today we are going to finish this chapter. Okay, today we are going to finish this chapter number 10. Yes, it's a not so big chapter, it's very easy and not so big chapter. So the last topic that we studied, it was respiratory system. Yes, last time we studied about the respiratory system. So can you tell me the name of parts of respiratory system? Can you tell me the name of parts of respiratory system? Yes, tell me. Think for 5 seconds and tell me the name of all the parts of respiratory system. Okay. So as you know, the first part of respiratory system is nose. Yes. Then second part is second part is trachea. Trachea means windpipe. Yes, nose. There are different parts of the nose: nostril, nasal cavity means nasal passage, and then trachea, which is also known as windpipe. From the windpipe, two pipe arise, and from the bottom point, these two pipe are known as bronchi. From the bronchi enter into the lungs. Yes, lungs, and into the lungs, these bronchi divided into secondary bronchioles. Yes, so these are divided into many parts. Yeah? And then they are attached to the alveoli. Okay, and then the bottom part just below the lungs, diaphragm, is present, as you can see in the picture also. Yes, so can you explain me how do we respire? Yes, can you explain the breathing process? Can you explain the breathing process? So it's a very easy that breathing process involve inhalation and exhalation. Breathing process actually involve inhalation and exhalation. You already know that the process of breathing involves taking in oxygen rich air and giving out carbon dioxide rich air. Yes, this entire process occur because of the action of various organs of the respiratory system. Yes, we all know that we take air through our nostril, and when we breathe in, air passes through our nostril into nasal cavity. Air reaches the lungs. Yes, which are located in the chest cavity. And the actual mechanism of the actual mechanism of breathing involves the movement of rib cage and the diaphragm, which are located around at the base of the chest cavity. Yes, so get the when during inhalation, means when we breathe in, that time actually our diaphragm moves down and our ribs moves up and upward, and when we at that time, that's why the space in the chest cavity increases. So this leads in the movement of air inside the lungs. When we exhale, during exhalation, diaphragm moves back. It's up. Diaphragm moves up, and the rib cage moves inward, and the size of chest cavity reduced, thereby the size of chest cavity reduced. This leads to the movement of air out of the lungs. Yes, and we have already studied what is fermentation. What is fermentation? Fermentation is the anaerobic conversion of sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide by yeast is called fermentation. And you already know that there are more than 5,000 500 1500 sorry 1500 species of fungi kingdom, and used to belong to fungi kingdom. Yes. And if we talk about the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration, aerobic respiration occur in the presence of oxygen, anaerobic respiration occur in the absence of oxygen. And you know that during during aerobic respiration, it involves the exchange of gases between an organism outside the and outside the environment. And anaerobic respiration, the exchange of gas, it's not happen, it's absent. And aerobic respiration produce 36 ATP, and anaerobic respiration produce 2 ATP. Aerobic respiration release carbon dioxide and water, and anaerobic respiration release what, alcohol, acetic acid, lactic acid, like this. What is ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. It is actually the unit of the energy, or you can say your ATP is actually a molecule, basic molecule, which meet our energy need and formed in the state of glucose oxidation. Yes. So, and can you tell me how is the energy stored in food? How is the energy stored in food released to be used by the body? You know that during the process of breathing, we take in air, oxygen take in, while carbon dioxide is released out of the body during the breathing. Then oxygen is circulated to cell of the body. Food is broken down in the cell with the help of oxygen, and in this way we get the energy. Yes, so we can say that the process in which food is broken down in the cell to release energy is known as cellular respiration. Okay, now let's study the next point. Let's move. Okay, let's talk about the respiration in amoeba and earthworm. So, the question is, how does the amoeba respire? So, amoeba respire by the process of diffusion through its body surface. Yes. So, it respire through its surface. Yes, it's respire through its surface. Okay. And how does the earthworm respire? Actually, in earthworm respiration also occur, but it occurs through the skin. Yes, actually, their skin is very moist. You know, the skin of earthworm is very moist. So, their skin is moist, and there are some pores. Small pores are present, so the gases directly diffuse into its tissue through their skin. Yes, so the gas directly exchange. They do not have any organ in amoeba and earthworm. They do not have any particular organ like we have particular respiratory system, nose, windpipe, lungs, but they do not have. So they have the moist skin through which the cell through the gases directly diffuse into its tissue through the skin. So in this way, earthworm easily respire. Okay, and amoeba also respire through its body surface. Okay, the gas directly diffuse into the body, diffuse into the cell, because amoeba is a singular cell organism. Means the body of amoeba is made up of single cell, but the earthworm is not single cell organism, it is multicellular. Means earthworm body is made up of many cells. Okay. Now let's talk about the cockroach. Let's move on the next point. Okay, so the question is, how does the cockroach respire? Yes, how does the cockroach respire? Yes, so actually, a cockroach has a small lateral side of its body. Yes, the cockroach has a small opening. Cockroach has a small opening on its side. So these opening are called spiracles. These opening are called spiracle. You know, in leaves, in leaves also has opening, leaves of the plants also have opening. These openings are called stomata. Yes, in the same way, cockroach also have openings which are known as spiracles on the side. So oxygen rich air enter into the body, oxygen rich air easily enter into the body through the spiracles. Okay, and these spiracles are actually connected to tracheae. These spiracles are connected to tracheae. Trachea is actually a network of tube. Okay, we have a single trachea which divide into lungs into many bronchioles. So, but in a cockroach, the gas, they exchange the gas through spiracles, so the air enter, oxygen rich air enter into through the spiracles and it reach to the tracheae are actually the network of tubes which are present all over its body. Okay, the oxygen then enter the trachea from where it diffuse into the cell of blood. Okay, from the trachea the oxygen goes into the cells of the cockroach. Okay, however, the movement of carbon dioxide follow the reverse path, wherein the carbon dioxide in the cells of the body first enter the trachea and then leaves of the body through the spiracles. Blood of cockroach, known as the hemolymph, is involved in exchange of gas between cells. So, remember the oxygen rich air enter through the spiracles. It reaches into trachea, which is actually a network of tubes. Through trachea, it reaches to cells of the cockroach, and so now the carbon dioxide which comes out from the cells, it goes into trachea, and from trachea it goes into spiracle, and from spiracle it goes out in the environment. Okay, and remember kids, the blood of cockroach, is called hemolymph. Yes, remember, the blood of cockroach is called hemolymph you can say. Okay, the blood of the cockroach is called hemolymph, which is actually involved in the exchange of gas between cells. Yes, because through this through the hemolymph, means which is actually a blood, through the hemolymph the gases transfer, come inside, goes out. Yes, it actually help as a transport system. Okay, between the cells. Okay, so hemolymph, blood of the cockroach is called hemolymph. Okay, I hope you understood that a cockroach has a small opening on the lateral side of the body. These openings are called spiracles. Oxygen rich air enter its body through the spiracles. The spiracles are connected to the network of tubes called tracheae, which are represent it's all over its body. The oxygen then enters the trachea, from where it's diffused into the cell of the body. However, the movement of carbon dioxide follow the reverse path, wherein the carbon dioxide in the cell of the body first enter the trachea and then leave the body through the spiracles. Blood of the cockroach, known as hemolymph, and is involved in exchange of gas between cells. Okay, I hope you understood. Now let's move on the next point. Okay, so I have written a question. Two question I have written. Question number one: do you think that plants also respire like organisms? Yes, plants also respire like organisms. How do plants take in oxygen? Well, just like the other organisms, plants also respire. Yes, plants also respire. You know, cockroach respire through spiracles. The same way, plants also respire through the tiny pores which are present on the surface of the leaves. These are pores are known as stomata, as you can see in the picture, the green color stomata. So oxygen enter the plant while the carbon dioxide leave the plant through these pores. Yes. Okay, so they also respire with the help of stomata. Okay, at night they take oxygen and leave carbon dioxide, and during the day they take carbon dioxide and leave the oxygen. Yes. Now the question is, does the root of the plants respire? Does the root of the plant respire? Yes, they do so by taking oxygen from air space. Yes, present in soil by the process of diffusion. Yes. So there is a gap between the particle of the soil. So in the gap of the particle of the soil, air is present. So they take take the air from the soil, and oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide moves out. Yes, oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is actually moves out with the help of diffusion. Yes, so through diffusion process they take oxygen in, leave carbon dioxide. So this type of gaseous exchange take place in the younger roots only. Yes, it happens in younger roots. Okay. And not in the older roots. Yes, older root don't do, because in older root actually the gas exchange of gas occurs by lenticles. Yes. So what are the meaning of lenticles? Yes, the lenticles are actually thin walled loosely arranged cell with intercellular space present for the gaseous exchange. Yes. Okay. In this way they respire. Okay. I hope you understood now. Let's move on the next point. Okay, it's time to ask question from you. So, question number one: what is ATP? What is ATP? ATP means adenosine triphosphate. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. So, get the ATP is the universal unit of energy used in all living cells. ATP is the universal unit of energy used in all living cells. It is the very basic molecules. It is the very basic molecules which meets our energy needs. And is formed in the later steps of glucose oxidation. Okay, oxidation. Question number 2. How do amoeba and earthworm respire? Yes, how do amoeba and earthworm respire? Amoeba, A-M-O-E-B-A, amoeba respires by the process of diffusion. Diffusion means you can say that the gas exchange occur without any organ, okay, without lungs. It goes directly. So amoeba respire by the process of diffusion through its body surface. Amoeba respires by the process of diffusion through its body surface. And if we talk about the earthworm, in earthworms the respiration occurs through the surface of their skin. Yes, in earthworm respiration occurs through their surface of the skin. The skin of the earthworm is moist and slimy. Yes, the skin of the earthworm is moist and slimy, and they have pores, small pores. So the gases directly diffuse into tissue through their skin. So the gases directly diffuse into tissues through their skin because they don't have any trachea, windpipe, lungs, whatever. Question number 3. Write a short note on cockroach. Write a short note on cockroach. A cockroach has a small opening on the lateral side of its body. Yes, on side of the body, cockroach has small openings. These openings are called spiracles. Yes, S-P-I-R-A-C-L-E-S. These openings are called spiracles. Oxygen-rich air enter its body. Oxygen-rich air enter its body through the spiracles. Yes, through the spiracle enter, and the spiracles are connected to a network of tubes called trachea. Yes, the spiracles are actually connected to a network of tube called trachea. T-R-A-C-H-E-A. T-R-A-C-H-E-A. Trachea, from where it diffuses into the cell of the body. Yes. However, the movement of carbon dioxide in the cell of the body first enter into from the cell into trachea, then leaves the body through the spiracles. Okay, and blood of the cockroach is called hemolymph. Yes, and which also involve in the exchange of gases between cell. Question number 4. Which part is used by following for breathing? Yes, which part is used by following for breathing? Plants. Plants use stomata. Yes, just like other living organisms, plants also respire. Yes, plants too respire, just like other organisms. They respire through the tiny pores. They respire through the tiny pores on the surface of their leaves called stomata. Yes, stomata. 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 The oxygen enters the plant while carbon dioxide leaves the plants through these pores called stomata. And earthworm, yes, you know that earthworm also respire through the skin, which is actually most and have porous. It is porous. Fish respire through gills. Cockroach respire through the small openings present on the lateral side of the body, which are called spiracles. Human respire through the lungs. Yes, first the oxygen enter through the nose, it passes through nasal cavity into trachea, which is actually called windpipe, then through trachea is divided into two parts, two pipes with two tubes. These two tubes divided, actually these two tubes are called bronchi, which enters into the lungs, and these two tubes divided to many tubes which are called bronchioles, and they are connected to next bronchioles, territory bronchioles, and which are attached to the alveoli, and just below the diaphragm is present. Okay, so lungs is the main part. Okay, so how does the root of plants respire? Yeah, how does, question number 5, how does the root of plants respire? So the root of plants also respire. They do so by taking in oxygen from the air space present in the soil by the process of diffusion. Yes, they also take oxygen from the air space which is present in the soil by the process of diffusion. So oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide moves out with the help of diffusion. This type of gaseous exchange take place in younger roots only. Yes, this type of gaseous exchange occur only in younger roots. Then what about the older roots? In the older roots, the exchange of gas occur by lenticles. Yes, lenticles. 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 So what are lenticles? The lenticles are actually thin, walled, loosely arranged cell. Yes, loosely arranged cell, and having the intercellular space means there will be space. Intercellular space means what? The space between cell. The space between cell means intercellular space. So they have thin, loosely packed cell. So they have intercellular space present for the gaseous exchange. Okay, so these cells are called lenticles, through which gas exchange occur in older root, but in new roots it occur through the roots. Okay, by diffusion process. Okay, I hope you understood. Now the chapter is over. Now we will meet with new chapter, chapter number 11, in next class.